have a huge treat. We're here with Victor Anatra in the Woods, the owner and developer of this amazing property. Victor, I got to hear from you firsthand the whole process and vision of creating the Woods start to finish. So can you tell us a little about what you've created here?
Well, it's been a project that's been going on for several years. And we when we first started, we did it a little bit backwards. A lot of developers will go in and build a structure first and then do the hardscape second.
Yeah.
We spent years doing the hardscape first. We had a tremendous amount of stone walls and retaining walls and stone facades and things of that nature. We built a pond and we circled the pond with stone. So we had about 2-3 years worth of hardscape and stonework before we even broke ground, for the units themselves.
Now the Woods, what was the vision? Why the Woods? What was the feeling that we're like, I got to create this here in Connecticut and especially in Guilford?
Well, I guess we named it the Woods because we wanted to kind of make it very exclusive and private, and we wanted to kind of give the feeling that when you drove into the woods, you'd feel like almost like you were in another country.
Right.
Like you were in another universe, so to speak. So everything around you, everywhere you looked, it would be kind of an exclusive to what we're trying to develop.
So you talked about your past history being a builder with LHB. Can you talk a little bit about some of the other work that you've done in some of the past?
Well, we've done custom homes.
Okay.
LHB is luxury home builders.
Gotcha.
And what we would do is basically scope out a property that we thought would be a potential to put a nice upscale home.
Right.
And then we would build it and customize it. Heather did a lot of the customizing.
She did a fabulous job.
Yes, and architectural designs and things of that nature. And it took off. I mean, we found people that really appreciated the effort that we put into the construction of the home.
Yeah. So LHB, you are a professional at building luxury properties, and you basically took all that you've done and you've put it into this labor of love here, and you built 5 beautiful custom condos here. But they're not small little condos. They are full with amenities, but they're also substantial in size. So talk a little about the fundamental process for the philosophy and how you wanted to have these condos built out.
All right, first of all, one of the objectives is to not have them attached. So these are all detached condominiums. And I guess the condominium is basically a term of ownership.
Right.
It's not really a term of the style of a house or,
right.
or the square footage of a house.
Yeah. There's
a certain feeling that when you get in here, that you're in your private home. It's
right.
not like you're part of a complex, right. so to speak. And even the placement of all the windows. If you're looking out the windows, they were placed in such a way where you don't really see your neighbor. You get all the positive views all around the house.
Right.
And the windows that happen to be on the same side of your neighbors, they're high, so you still get the light, but right. you don't get the view.
Right. Can you touch on to some of the nuts and bolts of the luxury components as far as amenities within, the way it was built out, the structure of the actual properties? Can you speak to any of that?
Yeah, we weren't stingy on any of the building materials.
No.
That's for sure. We used all, plywood sheathing. We used all quality hardwood floors.
Right.
Some of the mechanicals of the house. We have radiant heat on the first floor of the house, which is on a slab, which basically heats the house very evenly without that type of a system where the hot air is on and the hot air is off.
Right.
You get that kind of a flow.
Right.
We use closed cell foam insulation on the entire house.
Right.
Some builders just use it in the attic, but we use it on the walls, attic, all over.
Right.
Which helped us to get the Energy Star rating on the house.
Yeah.
And also too, because the house is so tight, it's energy efficient.
Right.
And so we had to install fresh air exchange systems in the house. Yeah. So that you get the flow of the outside air.
Wow.
And you're not just living you're so tight in the house where it's not breathing.
Right.
Properly.
Right. So, and I think it's also interesting, you guys, you and Heather, have lived in a lot of different places, in some luxurious, beautiful places. And now you're here in Guilford, and you're bringing a lot of the past experiences in the houses that you lived in, and also your years of being a luxury professional builder to Guilford. So talk a little bit about your opinion on the next buyer taking into process of why would this be the place for them, and also why Guilford?
Well, Guilford is really a wonderful community. I shouldn't say it's a retirement community. It's pretty much a mixed community because of Yale being close by. We have a lot of the Yale influence here. We have the shoreline, which is very popular if you're into boating and water sports and things of that nature. And of course, we got the town green, which is very New Englandy. You know, actually, Guilford, if you wanted to think of Guilford, think of one of those New England postcards. You know,
it is. It very is quintessential New England postcard. You know, shoreline.
Exactly, and we're right in between New York City and Boston. As far as if you wanted to go either direction, it's only a couple of hours in either direction. We have the casinos close by. We have Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. So it's really a great spot to be in. And if somebody is retired, it's a great spot, or if somebody has a career, the commute to any of these areas is not out of the question.
Say this model, which is stunning. Who do you perceive is probably the best person who should absolutely, without a question, be looking at a model like this or a unit like this that they can build out?
Interesting. I think the perfect prospect for this type of a unit would be someone that's worked hard all their life and has gone through a lot of houses in their career of watching the kitchen cabinets kind of fall off or not closing properly, or this not working, that's not working. And they're at the stage of their life where they really want a quality home that's built properly and works properly and is energy efficient. But at the same token, if they're at that point in life where they're kind of retired or semi-retired, they may want to do some traveling and not be involved with the maintenance of the home. So that's kind of like where we are here, because somebody that's in the woods has the freedom to travel and not have to worry about their unit, because all the maintenance and everything would be taken care of under the association situation. So it would be someone that, and if they're entertaining, they have a beautiful home that they can entertain in. If they have grandchildren, they have lots of space, you know, for the grandchildren. So I think that's kind of the typical person that I would imagine that would want to be here.
So you didn't just do one unit here to live in, Welcome Cottage. You built 4 other ones. Now, one is partially, and the other 3 are not fully built out, they're framed.
Correct.
And you name them. So can you go through the names for us of what the units are?
This is the Welcome Cottage.
The Welcome Cottage,
Next door is Rose Cottage. And what we do is to keep the theme of the Rose Cottage, we have lots of roses planted in the landscaping menu. The next one is Pine Tree Cottage. Same thing, we have a pine tree, a couple pine trees there that kind of reflect that. Next one is Bluebell Cottage. We have a lot of bluebell flowers that reflect that. And the last one is Apple Tree Cottage. And we'll stick with that theme in the landscaping arena.
So they're all a little bit different floor plans. They have different names, but they will all come with this beautiful stone in the back, and they'll all have the fireplace, and they'll all have the opportunity to have you finish it out the way you did here. I think that the key here is the exclusive lifestyle and the luxury that this property brings and this area brings. And I think if you're a buyer, and we talked about the location, we talked about why Guilford's so great, and we talked about how talented you guys are. When you combine all those things, this is the perfect spot, because it's not a very over-the-top, big, huge community surrounded by a million other little things. This is your own universe. Keeping with that theme, you took the square footage and you made everything from the hallways that we were walking down to the 2 master bedrooms. There's nothing small. You don't have anything small here. Everything is substantial size.
Well, you know, sometimes when people are thinking of retirement, they're thinking of downsizing. But I think when you look at some homes that are like 2,500 square feet and they got 4 or 5 bedrooms, well, those bedrooms are extremely small. You know, and so what we've done is, rather than reduce the square footage, we just made everything more luxurious. And some of the things that some of the builders don't even think of is like the hallway, like you mentioned. They'll have a 3-foot hallway.
Right.
That all the bedrooms come off of. Well, we have an 8-foot hallway.
Right.
So that immediately makes the house more luxurious and just more.
Right room.
Yeah, it's more room.
Right.
It's more square footage, but yet it's not the type of square footage that is wasted.
Yeah.
All the units have 3 floors.
Right.
All of them will have elevators in them.
Okay.
And then, like we talked about before, the 3rd floor would be optional, either finished or unfinished. There'd be unit number 5, Apple Tree Cottage, is framed out for 3 bedrooms.
Right.
And each bedroom would have its own complete bathroom, its own complete walk-in closet.
Right.
So they'll all be very
Beautiful.
luxurious.
Yeah.
And even out of those 3 bedrooms, there would still be 1 large master bedroom suite.
That's cool. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to watch this and, like I said, want one. So people are going to have the opportunity to reach out to me directly. A property like this, like Welcome Cottage at the Woods, could also be theirs. Victor, thank you so much for having us. I will see you next time.